This is what's wild in New Hampshire by wildlife biologist Eric Orff. Hey, look out there. There is a lone goose. Why is there a lone goose? It's on guard. It's the guard goose. So the female has got to be right here, probably on a nest or very nearby. So this time of year, April into early May, the New Hampshire Fish and Game Department wildlife biologists go around the state counting ducks and geese. Are your ducks in a row? Fish and Game will be checking on that right now. So wildlife biologists for the last 20 or more years go around each spring, part of the annual waterfowl surveys. It's done several different ways. This is the breeding bird survey. And what Fish and Game wildlife biologists will be doing is going one of several dozen 1 kilometer square areas in the state that were delineated 20 or 25 years ago. And those that have water, that have nesting waterfowl, you go back every year in April or May and see who's there. And it's the males that are typically, or a pair of ducks or geese that are there. And it's a way to determine who is nesting, how many ducks of different species are nesting. Typically in New Hampshire, of course, it'd be mallards and wood ducks and black ducks and Canada geese. Further north, you might have some golden-eyed ducks, I think, up north. So hooded mergansers, common mergansers. So yeah, so this is the time of year that Fish and Game is just checking to see if the ducks are in a row. Let's put it that way. Counting ducks, yes. Part of my job at New Hampshire Fish and Game Department as a wildlife biologist over the last couple of decades of my career was counting ducks this way. Fish and Game also did for over 50 years the aerial survey done the first week of January. And then there's also, that was the aerial survey of Great Bay and out at the Isles of Shoals, but also an inland survey, in the January inland survey of ducks and geese, to see who is wintering in New Hampshire. But yeah, this is the time of year that Fish and Game is counting our ducks and geese. Just check from year to year, see what ducks are here, how successful they might be at raising a brood. So yeah, this is it's duck and goose checking time in New Hampshire. Our New Hampshire Fish and Game wildlife biologists are scattered across the state. You can go some of them midday, but also there are sunrise or sunset. At some sites, you go a half hour before sunset or a half hour before sunrise. One of mine was Babusick Road in Merrimack that I did for many, many years. And it was a very enjoyable experience to be there before light in the morning, watch the sun and the woods and the wildlife wake up and count some ducks and geese. Yeah, I counted ducks and geese and captured thousands of them, ducks and geese, to ban. Another way, Fish and Game bans several hundred ducks, several hundred, 500 to 800 geese every year are banned by New Hampshire Fish and Game. In order to have a duck season, which is governed by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, you got to ban some ducks. You got to know the impact of the hunting on our waterfowl population, so you need to ban them to see how many are recovered, and it gives you a sense of population levels, whether they're going up or down. Yeah, so a lot of work goes into learning about our state's waterfowl in order to have an annual duck or goose hunting season. It just doesn't happen every year. It takes work to make it happen. And in April, Fish and Game wildlife biologists, well, they're counting ducks and geese. And here's one right here, but there's not a plot here. This is wildlife biologist Eric Orff. What's wild in New Hampshire? Geese are wild today.